Everybody please rise. I will be doing the invocation. And the pledge of allegiance will be done by Crystal. Thank you, Crystal.
Oh, there you go.
Bow your heads with me, please. Father God, thank you for being with us and for loving us. We pray for your continued guidance in our lives, and may we have love in our hearts as we enjoy your bounty. This we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, please have a seat. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody online with us. Appreciate having you here. Appreciate having House and Home Journal with us. Always a good job. And first item on here, of course, is the public comments. So there are no public comments listed. So we go to the adoption of minutes. There are two sets of minutes, March the 7th, 2023, and March the 21st, 2023, council work session. I entertain a motion to adopt both as written, unless anybody notices any changes.
So moved, Mr. Mayor. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Both sets of minutes have passed. There's no old business tonight. Yeah, new business. First item we have here is a proclamation, April 2023, Safe Digging Month. Myself, Director of Operations, Brumfield, and Councilman Burns will read that proclamation for us. This is a very important proclamation.
This is a proclamation from the Executive Department of the City of Centerville. Whereas thousands of times each year, the underground infrastructure in Georgia is damaged by those who do not have underground lines located prior to digging, resulting in service interruption, environmental damage, and threat to public safety. And whereas in 2005, the Federal Communications Commission designated 811 to provide contractors and homeowners a simple number to contact utility operators to request the location of underground lines at the intended dig site. And whereas the Houston County Utility Coordinating Committee, a stakeholder-driven organization dedicated to the prevention of damage to underground utilities in Georgia, promotes the National 811 notification system in an effort to reduce these damages. And whereas damage prevention is a shared responsibility by using safe digging practices, and contractors and homeowners of this county and or city can save time, money, and help keep our infrastructure safe and connected. And therefore, I do hereby proclaim on behalf of the City of Centerville the month of April 2023 as City of Centerville Safe Digging Month, and encourage contractors and homeowners throughout the City of Centerville to always call 811 before digging. Safe digging is no accident. And the proclamation has been signed by
Yeah, 811 is a very important feature that we have. That I really enjoyed. They came out to my house here about 2 weeks ago with an electrical problem. Well, electrical problem, not mine. I don't know what became mine because it actually affected the house. But they went out there to my yard. They put marks down where I didn't know the line. I said, thank goodness I saw where these lines are now. Maybe I'll remember next time I'm digging. So I only ever accidentally cut one thing, and that was my cable. That's when I first moved into my home. Anyhow, pay attention. If you go dig somewhere in your yard you haven't dug before, make sure you call 811. Yep, just call it. They come out, there's no charge. It's a whole lot cheaper to call them for the utility companies than it is to go out and repair any damage. All right, item number 4 is very, very, very important for us here. It's a resolution recertification. The Georgia Municipal Association certified City of Ethics. Now remember, we became a City of Ethics, but we now have a resolution where we have to recertify it. And I'm going to read it here real quick. The resolution to comply with the Georgia Municipal Association's requirements for recertification as a certified City of Ethics, to provide for an effective date and for other purposes. Whereas the Board of Directors of the Georgia Municipal Association has established a certified City of Ethics program, and whereas the Mayor and Council of the City of Centerville wishing to be recertified as a certified city of ethics under the GMA program. And whereas part of the recertification process required the mayor and council to subscribe to the ethics principles approved by the GMA board. Then, therefore, be resolved by the mayor and council of the city of Centerville, and it is hereby resolved by the same, that as a group of individuals, they, city governing authority, subscribe to the following ethics principles and pledges to conduct its affairs accordingly. Number 1, serve others, not ourselves. Number 2, use resources with efficiency and economy. Number 3, treat all people fairly. Number 4, use the power of our position for the well-being of our constituents. Create an environment of honesty, openness, and integrity. Be resolved this 4th day of April, 2023. I entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Motion, have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion second. Thank you very much. Anybody have any comments on the thing now? All right, if not, and all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, hearing nothing. It is now approved. Go around for our signatures.
The second part of the requirement, Mayor, is that we send a letter signed by you containing a copy of the resolution to GMA. Chris has that letter for your signature, and it can go out tomorrow.
Outstanding.
Oh, there it is, okay.
All right. Item number 5 here is point of information, the GET program, Councilman Wright and Director of Economic Development, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. The Georgia Initiative for Community Housing helps communities improve their quality of life and economic vitality through development of locally driven housing and revitalization strategies. The City of Centerville completed the 3-year GET program in 2021, and currently we are in active alumni status, which gives us the full benefits of the program. Since we began to take part in the program, the city has received numerous requests for consideration of housing projects through DCA's low-income housing tax credit. Sometimes you might hear this referred to as the LIHTC program. We're also now beginning to refer to this type of housing as workforce housing. That tends to be the primary tenants in these places. As a GET participant, the City of Centerville can send a letter of support for one LIHTC project each year, awarding 2 points toward their total application score. It has proven to us that that is a pretty big bat to swing with these developers, that these applications are scored and weighted, and many times the decision is made by just 1 point or 2, so that additional bonus point that the city can offer can be a big deal for a developer. Both phases of the Abington and Galleria received letters of support from the city and went on to receive the funding for those projects from DCA. And this point of information is to let everyone know that we have received a request from a developer for support for a new housing project. They will be presenting at the April 18th council meeting, and the housing team is going to bring their recommendation to the city at the May 2nd council meeting. We have scheduled a meeting for the housing team to meet and look over whether or not we will award that point of support. I would just comment, Mayor, that one of the comments we heard over and over and over again when this proposal for some workforce housing was being put forward was that there was just going to be a overwhelming increase in crime because of these low-income housing projects that were being here. And I just checked with Chief Duncan this morning, just because I was curious. Since the first phase here of the Abington Galleria has opened, there have only been 13 calls to Centerville Police Department. 2 of them were for an unwanted person. 1 of them was a civil matter. 1 of them was a juvenile problem, and the rest of them were just simple security checks where the police were asked to come through and check on something. So I think that narrative that these affordable housing or workforce housing developments lead to a rise in crime does not seem to be true, at least here in the city of Centerville. I can speak personally that one of the young ladies that works for me on staff at the church moved into one of these apartments. They're very nice. She absolutely could not have afforded to get an apartment on her own without this program. She works a full-time job, makes pretty decent money, but the housing rates right now are just wild. And so it is good that we have stopgap programs like this that are intended to help people while they are sort of transitioning in their career from high school and into college further into their careers, where they can make a wage where they can kind of have their own space. So Director Bryant is here. If anybody has any questions, this is just a point of information to let you know that we have had another request, and that we're going to be evaluating that in the coming weeks, and you'll have a full update on May the 2nd.
And just a timeline for what this process looks like. DCA puts out their call in typically October and November for developers. They then have an application process that they have to go through, collecting all the data that they need. From the city specifically, they have received already zoning verification letter. They have received a utility verification letter. They've also received a utility support letter from Flint Energies for this project that they are bringing forward at the next council meeting. We have been in conversation with them, getting them any information that they need. I did give them a timeline as to deadlines that we as the city have that we have to meet to make sure that we can get the letter to DCA should we support them. It is 2 points now that we can award with the GIC program. They've updated that in recent years. And as Councilman Wright said, those points can be a make or break for these projects when DCA is evaluating them, because they do get a lot of applications in, and they prefer to work with GIC communities because they know that the people in those communities have been through the program. They know how it works, they know the value of it, and that we know how to work with the developers to bring these projects online. So if anyone has any questions, I have all the paperwork. I can certainly get it to any of you. You're welcome to come look at it at any time. But I didn't want to spring them on you next meeting. I wanted to kind of give you a rundown for anybody not familiar or who doesn't remember how the program works.
And one other additional point here for those, the value of this point, the reason the city went through this process of getting the GIC certification and going through the 3 years of the program and continuing to do the work rather to maintain alumni certification is that is what gives you the certification to be able to give this point. And that point can come into play in a couple of different ways. One, it can be in a situation like we have had in the past where you have multiple developers vying for a project in the same award year. DCA is not going to award 2 projects in the same city in the same year. So if you have multiple competing projects, it becomes a situation where now the developers have some reason to work with the city to find out what we think is best and to give us some input to the process before we award them a point. It also gives us the ability in a situation like this where you may only have one developer putting forward an application. If it's just something that we don't think is appropriate or the highest and best use for the city, we can just opt to not give them the point, even though they are the only applicant that year. And it's at least been expressed to us that that's something that the committee that reviews these things does weigh when the community has not given its support to something, even if the application scores well. So it really does give the city a way to have some influence over these projects to make sure that what does get built is sort of the highest and best use of some of the property that remains here in the city. I think Abington and Galleria is an excellent example. I know they had a long time getting that project open, had a lot of delays, and had a lot of supply chain issues and things like that. But I think it has been a real benefit to the people that have been able to move in there and take advantage of it. So we look forward to seeing what these folks put forward and see exactly what it winds up looking like.
Right, and to your point about even if it's just one project, the housing team, and this was before my time, but when they were going through the GIC program, they worked closely with the regional commission to create a rubric for scoring projects.
That's right, yeah.
And so one year we had 2 projects that were brought forth. The same rubric was applied to both. The higher scoring was deemed to be the highest and best use, and that was the recommendation, which did end up being the Abington project for that year. So the housing team, even though we do only have the 1 project that has been brought forth, we will go through the process just the same. We will meet, we will evaluate and score by that rubric based on the needs of the community and how that lines up with what project they are bringing forward. And we will bring all of that to council at that first May meeting with our recommendation one way or the other.
A little bit of a feather in the cap for Centerville. That rubric that was developed by the housing team is now used by statewide by DCA to evaluate.
I've received 4 phone calls in this session from people who are asking to utilize the documentation that we created for our program. So, yep. So if anyone has any questions, I'll gladly field those. If not,
So you mentioned that they received letters of support from a few organizations at this time. So
through time, the developers doing this have received letters from different communities and have been awarded these funds. Now, for this project, we as the city require them to kind of show some buy-in when they submit their application, so it's not just them dropping off a packet and hoping that we pass through with them. So we require that any letters that they need, if they need letters of support from utilities, from outside sources, from community buy-in, if they need those sorts of things, we ask that those be submitted with their application so that we have proof that they've done that work and that they do have the support of other organizations that they may be partnering with, that the facilities and utilities exist within the city currently for them. We have given them a zoning verification letter as well. They are currently zoned as they will need to be, so it will not require any new zoning should the project go through. And it's also important to note that just because they're bringing the project, and even if we do award them the point, that does not guarantee that the project happens. They still have to go through the DCA process. They still have to be awarded the funds from DCA, and if they are not, then their contract on the land is null and void, and they walk away from the project. So we could go through all of this and give them the point, and it may still not happen. But this developer does have a long history with DCA. They have garnered support from them for numerous projects throughout the state, and so our chances are pretty good with them compared to maybe some other developers who could have brought us something.
So where is this gonna be located?
The project will be on Houston Lake near Collins. So there's a curve. The Dollar General will sit kind of at an angle from it. The entrance and the exit points will be at the low end of the curve there on Houston Lake Road coming back toward town. And it's a 17.7 acre lot that they're looking to purchase. With this phase, they will only be developing less than 4 acres of that. So there's some utility lines that run through the property and things like that that they may be able to work around for an eventual second phase. But for this time now, they just need to get the first phase approved and funded. And that will be a 73 unit apartment complex that they intend to put there.
Very similar to what we have across
Yes.
the road here at the mall.
So it'll be 3 levels?
It will be 3 levels primarily. At one point, it will go with the grade of the land to create 4 levels. But that will not be the entire building. There's just one small portion that will have 4 levels to it.
Elevators?
I don't know. That would be a question for them when they're here next week.
Not moving in there?
No,
The
but
ones here at Abington are 4 floors and they do not have.
I would say you'd be living on the 4th floor,
They were
have to carry
walk-ups.
furniture and something
You
up
made
there.
that decision when you.
I will say,
Rent.
I have never been in better shape than when I lived in a 3rd floor apartment with no
Yeah.
elevator, that's for sure.
I lived in the 3rd floor apartment in 30 years.
So I had a question, Shannon.
Sure.
So does the city have to award points?
We do not. The housing team could very well go through our rubric, review the project, and decide that it is not a good match for the housing needs of our community, because housing needs don't look the same in every community. And if it's not something that we think is what's going to fit the needs of our community, then we could very well say, well, this is a great project. We don't support awarding points to it. And that would be our recommendation that we would bring to mayor and council. At the end of the day, it is mayor and council's decision to determine whether or not they wish to support the project. But the housing team does have the ability to say, we do support this project or we don't, and here are the reasons why.
It's also worth noting that if we were to not give our support to it, DCA could approve it anyways.
Right.
Yeah, us not giving our support to it is not a death knell for
It's a
them.
piece of the scoring pie.
Right. They have a very detailed rubric of their own that they work through, and
I think
anything
what is probably more
imaginable.
common is if you had 2 competing projects and one of them got support and one of them different.
Right.
That'd be ideal.
But anything imaginable is scoreable in their system. So we're just a very small piece, but it can often be the determining factor between funding and not funding if they're awarded the point or points.
Yeah, rest assured, our team will evaluate everything very carefully before they recommend it. Absolutely.
And as I said, I do have documents I've got printed and I also have digital, so if anyone would like to see anything, I can certainly get that to you, or you can come by my office and review it. But they will be here doing a full PowerPoint presentation at the next council meeting. And they plan to bring a team and answer questions and all of that as well. Okay? Anybody else?
All right. Thank you very much, Councilman Wright and Ms. Pratt. All right, that's the last item on there, believe it or not. Isn't that something? So I'm gonna let post 1 start off tonight. Say a few words.
Okay, so first thing to note is that we will have our Centerville Spring Cleanup later this month. It's going to be the week of April 17th through the 21st, and you just put out your trash the way you normally would. You could just put out more of it. You put out more things, and it will be picked up free of charge. I'm sure there's going to be more information published soon. I don't have any more details right now than the date, but that will be on your regular trash day. You put out your extra things from spring cleaning, and they'll pick them up. And I believe the way that it's going to work is they're going to run 2 trucks to try to keep on schedule that week. But if it's not picked up, it will be picked up the next day. The other item is that the splash pad is currently scheduled to open May 5th. Would be the date. That will be open. Personal note, I was out at the farmer's market again this past weekend, and it was very good again. I continue to be impressed by the different vendors that we get every time. Kind of miss the coffee vendors. I have been told they've moved on to their own store, so that's a plus for them. We had something to do with that. That's all I have.
Thank you. What's good, Chris?
Nothing for me, Mayor.
Oh, straight.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'm getting excited about that splash pad over there. Well, I won't be using it, but that's all right, because the kids go out there and they have fun. And it's been a great adventure for us since we've opened up the park. We've had challenges, and we've overcome some challenges. But I think overall it's been a good thing for the city. And that's it.
Thank you. What's forward?
Yep, so, for the Centerville cleanup, I just had questions if we will publish a list of items that will not be picked up.
Yes, sir. We will have that hitting Facebook and the website
Like
probably
tires,
tomorrow.
will we be picking up appliances and that kind of?
Appliances will be if they'll call into the utility office here, my guys will come by and pick up appliances and take them to the recycle center.
Oh, okay, so that's what most of the
Yes.
questions I get are, hey, where are they not picking up? So that way they don't throw lumber out there.
Main thing is we will not pick up tires or construction material.
Good, I think that, I'm glad that we're doing that. Are they gonna put dumpsters over by the recycle center like they did before?
No, sir.
This all,
Yes, sir. Everything will be picked up at the curb.
okay. That's all the questions I had about the Centerville cleanup. Like I said, I'm really pleased to hear that. I'm pleased to hear about the splash pad opening. I don't know if I'll be there on grand opening day, but I do enjoy it, going out there with the grandkids and all that.
It will be Food Truck Friday.
Well, in that case, I will be in the splash pad. Well, I'll be in the splash pad. And, also,
Pictures of that.
yeah. I did go to the market this weekend as well, and I really want to thank the staff that goes out there and helps all the time. I do. It's nice to see the staff out there, helping out and seeing through everything. And I know there's a lot of staff that's not there that helped out as well, setting up and picking up and stuff, and we certainly appreciate them. So it's always kind of entertaining, a gentleman gave me a dozen free eggs the last time we were there. He said I guess his chickens were going crazy and they were having eggs everywhere. So I got so many eggs I can't.
Celebration spring.
Yeah, that's right. Easter egg time. Anyways, that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We're getting ready to start our next fiscal year budget, and I asked our citizens out there if you want to say anything to the council about it. You're welcome to say that. What you might want to put in there, what you might like to see, something that we're here to serve you. I want to make sure you understand that we have a good idea of what we need, but maybe some other ideas we don't know about. Just share them with us if you would. And other than that, have a great Easter. Have a great Easter. Thank you all very much.